Hello, students. So prepared for the quiz. Okay, the link for the quiz will be given down in the description box. Please go and give it. We will start with the second chapter today. Okay. We owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. This was Albert Einstein. So, Indians have taught the world how to count. And that is exactly how our second chapter is. It's about the encoding scheme and the number system. Have you ever wondered how the keys on the computer keyboard are recognizable form, are interpreted by the computer system? How does the computer realize what key you have pressed? So this entire chapter is briefly going to discuss the text interpretation by the computer. You already know that computer understands only binary language of zeros and ones. So when a keyboard on a key is pressed, it is internally mapped to a unique code. So we know when a key on a keyboard is pressed, it is internally mapped to a unique code, which is further converted to binary. So let's say I press the letter A. The decimal value of this code is 65 and the binary value is 01000001. Okay, so when I press A, my computer actually reads 01000001. The Hindi alphabet if I press that, the hexadecimal value of it is 0905. And when this is converted into binary, the value is 401001, 50101, something like that. Similarly, when we press the alphabet on the keyboard, it is internally mapped to the hexadecimal value whose binary equivalent is. So we are going to learn two words, encoding and cipher. Cipher means something converted to a coded form to hide or conceal it from others. It is also called encryption and sent to the receiver, who in turn can decrypt it to get back the actual content. So encoding is the mechanism of converting data into an equivalent cipher using a specific code is called encoding. So cipher means creating a code so that the data is hidden from everyone and only the receiver can decrypt it. And encoding is the mechanism of converting data into a cipher. So for all the keyboards, whenever you press an alphabet, it is internally mapped. But why do you think, how is it possible that in all keyboards, when we press an alphabet, it maps to the same number? This is possible because of a standard encoding scheme, where each letter, numerical, symbol is all encoded or assigned a unique code. Some of the well-known encoding schemes are American Standard Code for Information Exchange, ASCII, Indian Script Code for Information Interchange, ISCI, ISCI, and Unicode. There are three types of Unicode which are very common: UTF-8, UTF-16, and UTF-32. In the early 1960s, computers had no way of communicating with each other because of different ways of representing keys on the keyboard. So there arose the need for a common standard, and encoding scheme ASCII was developed for standardizing the character representation. Even presently, ASCII is the most commonly used coding scheme. Initially, ASCII used 7 bits to represent characters. If you remember, there are only 2 characters, binary digits 0 and 1. So 2 raised to 7. So there are total number of characters on the English keyboard that can be encoded by 7-bit ASCII code is 2 raised to 7, which is also 128. These are some printable characters of ASCII code. Now, we had ASCII code, it was working absolutely fine. But in order to facilitate the use of Indian languages on computers, a common standard code for coding Indian scripts called ISCI was developed in India during the mid-1980s. Now, ISCI is an 8-bit code of representation of Indian languages. Since it's an 8-bit code, and you remember binary language has only 2 digits, so 2 raised to 8. So ISCI can represent 256 characters. It retains the all 128 ASCII codes. That means the ASCII values are the same over here, and it uses the rest of the codes besides the 128 for additional language character set, such as akshars and all the matras. So what happens is, if you paid attention here, since there are 2 bits, that is 2 bits, there are only 2 digits in binary digits, that is 0 and 1. And we know that ASCII is a 7-bit code. So the possibilities of unique combinations are 2 raised to 7, that is 128 unique patterns or unique numbers can be formed using 2 digits, 0 and 1. So when we made ISCI, we retained the 128 characters of ASCII. That means A will again point to 65 only, which A will also point to 65 in ASCII, and it will also point 65 in ISCI. We have not changed any of the ASCII codes. We used all the ASCII codes, and besides 128, additional codes were given to all the other patterns. Okay, so out of 256, 128 was used by the same ASCII values, and after 128, other codes have been assigned in the upper region for akshars of the languages, other languages that we have. So this is one small screenshot I got of the ASCII value, the character, and the control character. There were many encoding schemes for character sets of different languages. So like India developed an encoding scheme for ourselves, other countries also developed some different encoding schemes for their countries, for their languages, so that even they could use the computer. So there were French, German, Spanish, Chinese, everyone has removed their own encoding schemes. So now what happened is, they were not able to communicate with each other. If I use ASCII and use English, then I can communicate. But if I use another language, how will we communicate with each other? Because what will be a code on my keyboard may map this to a unique ID may mean something else in another keyboard, as each of them represented characters in their own ways. Text created using one encoding scheme was not recognized by another machine using different encoding scheme. So what did we do? We removed a standard Unicode, which was developed to incorporate all the characters of every written language of the world. Unicode provides a unique number for every character, irrespective of device, operating system, or software application. So whichever device is being used, whether it's a server, a desktop, or a mobile, whichever operating system you are using, whether Linux, Windows, or iOS, and whichever software application, that is Microsoft Word, a browser, a spreadsheet, whatever you are using, all of them will give the same unique number for every character. Commonly used Unicode codings are UTF-8, UTF-16, and UTF-32. Now, Unicode is a superset of ASCII, and the values 0 to 128 have the same character as in ASCII. Now, I have a small table here which shows us the Unicode table for the Devanagari script. This brings us to the next topic for the day, number system. You all must have studied number system in math. Today, we will learn a number system, 4 different number systems in computers. A number system is a method to represent or write numbers. Every number in the system has a set of unique characters or literals. The count of these literals is called the radix, or the base of the number system. The 4 number systems that we will learn and that are widely used in context of computers are binary, decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. So these are the 4 different number systems that we will learn, and these are the most widely used number systems. And today, when you all learn this, you all will learn, you all can make a number system of your own. Okay, so I want you all to note a few things here. Okay. Okay. So here you have binary number. Binary has 2 digits, 0 and 1. And so the base of the number is 2. Just trying to draw something, it's not working. Okay, so the base of the number is 2. Here, if you look at hexadecimal, it comprises of alphabets from 0 to 9 and also the alphabets A to F. The digits 0 to 9, that is 10 digits, and A to F, that is 6 alphabets. So totally, it is made up of 16 digits. So the base is also 16. The decimal number system that we use every day in our life is made up of the numbers 0 to 9. They in all make 10 digits. And so the base of that number system is 10. Also, the octal number system comprises of the numbers 0 to 7. Okay, so since it's using 8 different digits or characters, the base of that number system is 8. Number systems are also called proportional number systems. That is because the value of each symbol in a number depends upon its position within the number. This is similar to place values. If you have learned place values, this is similar to that. I am sure you all have learned place values. So you all know that we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So they are all depending on their position. Okay. Number may also have a fractional part similar to decimal numbers used by us. Okay, so see this. The first symbol in the fractional part of the number has the position number -1, which decreases by 1 while reading the fraction part from left to right. Each symbol in a number has a positional value, which is computed by using its positional value and the base value of the number system. I'm just going to explain to you this very soon. Okay. So if you look at this example that we have over here, so this is the digit. Let's say I have a number which is 123.45. Okay. So how do we know what which number over here? How do you get the place values? So you can see here we have written position number, and we will start with 0, 1, 2. This side we will keep going, increasing. And over here, that is after the point, we will have -1, -2, -3. And what do these indicate? This is the value, the raised to power. Since this is a number, this is a decimal number system that we have been using, we are going to use the number 10 because the base of the decimal number system is number 10. So what I'll do is, what you can do is, you have the number 10 over here and the number 2. So 10 raised to 2 into 1. 10 raised to 1 into 2. 10 raised to 0 into 3. Okay, so we are going to have this over here. You can see this. And then over here, we are going to say 10 raised to -1 into 4, 10 raised to -2 into 5. And when you will add all these numbers together, that is 10 raised to 2 is 100. So you will say 1 into 100 is 100 plus 2 raised to 10 into 1 will be 20 plus 3 into 10 raised to 0. 10 raised to 0 will give me 10. It will give me 1. Anything raised to 0 is 1. So 3 ones are 3. So 100 plus 20 plus 3 will give me 123. And this will give me 45. Have you all understood this? So base value, the base value of a number system is, used to distinguish a number in one number system from another number system. We will realize when you'll start learning that there can be some numbers which can be expressed in decimal, in binary, in hexadecimal, and so many other number systems. So how do we know which number system does it belong to? Its value changes if we look at it with the wrong number system. So this base number helps us to differentiate between the two number systems. Base value is written as the subscript of the given number. For example, 78 is 70 in the bracket and 8 should be the subscript over here. Represents 70 as an octal number. And 70 with the 10 written into the subscript denotes 70 as a decimal number. So we will start with the number system that we already know and we widely use. That is decimal number system. I'm only going to introduce this topic today. Okay. Decimal number system. It is a base 10 system because 10 digits are used. A number is presented by its two values. Symbol value, that is whichever digit you are using from 0 to 9. And positional value in terms of base value, that is 10 raised to 2, 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 4. Okay. Then you have binary number system. Now in binary number system, so we already know the decimal number system. So I'll just show you all one more example over here. So let's say I have the number 55. Now these are my digits. These are my digits. Okay. Now if I look at the positional values over here, we will look at the positional values. Sorry for the handwriting. If I look at the positional values, I will use this as 0 and I'll use this as 1. What will this mean? This will mean 5 into 10. 10, which is the base of my number system, decimal number system, raised to 0. Raised to 0. Plus 5 into 10 raised to 1. So I use this 0 over here and I'm using this 1 over here. So we know anything raised to 0 is 1. So 5 into 1 will be 5. 10 raised to 1 will give me 10. 10 into 5 is 50. So this is how I will get the number 55. If I take a bigger drawing over here, let's take another number. If I take a larger number, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I have to show this one, how will I show this one? So let's write it. Look at my So if I look at my positional values, these are the digits I'm using. So I will start with 0, 1, 2, and 3. Look at the 0, 1. So I will have 7 into 10 raised to 0. Then I'll have 6 into 10 raised to 2. Sorry, 1. 0, then 1. 5 into 10 raised to 2. And then finally we will have 4 into 10 raised to 3. If you also look at it, 10 raised to 0 is 1, which is units that we learn in the place value system. 10 raised to 1 is tens. So after units, we always have tens. 10 raised to 2 will give me 100. So this will be 100. And this will give me 1000. So this is how the place value system or the positional values help us understand or derive meaning of the number. So it will be 7, 60, 500 and 4000. This is the numbers I will get. And then I'll add it, I will get 4567. Yes? So we'll just introduce ourselves to the binary number system before we go ahead. Okay, we'll just introduce you all to the binary number system. The binary number system, the integrated circuit that you all learned about in the first chapter, the ICs in a computer, they are made up of large number of transistors. And these transistors are activated by the electronic signals that they receive. And these electronic signals can either be low or high, or on or off, whatever you can select to use. So on and high is the same thing, and off and low is also the same thing. So the state of a transistor is represented using 2 digits, that is 1 and 0, where 1 means on or high and 0 means off or low. Okay, so these are the 2 digits that form the binary system, 0 and 1. And this system is also called as base 2 system because it has 2 digits. It has only 2 digits. Now, some examples of binary numbers you have already seen in the previous slides are, there are some examples given on the screen. And every binary number can be mapped to an equivalent decimal number. And this decimal number is very easy to understand by a human because this is what we use day to day, the decimal number system. So tomorrow we will start with binary number system again. Till then, please go and revise your place value if you have forgotten it. And if not, I want you all to practice some numbers with the positional values and derive those numbers. Yes, thank you. Have a nice day.